allowed.
Right.
I think we're missing two people.
Yeah.
I think.
Should we wait a minute here? Let's wait a minute for him.
Yeah.
There we go. All
Cool.
right.
Exciting.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Do you guys have the contacts from the people that are not in our group? Let me see. We can
Yeah, I'm
contact
on
them
Telegram with one of them right now.
Okay, cool.
Great.
Let's see.
That is
who you're contacting.
Taras.
Taras? Okay, I might check out what egoing.
You'll contact egoing Lee?
Yeah, I will try.
Okay.
Do you guys have the link? I didn't save the link, or can we just copy paste the? We can. There's Taras.
Hi, Taras.
Okay,
Hello.
I think we can invite. So, copy.
Oh, James.
There's
already on here.
Egoey.
Awesome.
All right.
Go ahead and sign in and answer them. I'm not going to be able to divvy these out as effectively as I was hoping.
Egoy.
Hey, Egoy.
Hello.
Hey.
Now we just Marty. So all five of us are here, huh?
For some reason, Martin and Egoey and Taras, I can't give you the ability to record. The button is just not there for the same button.
I can record. I'm recording.
I'm on mobile phone because my notebook actually crashed on the first meeting of election. So
Okay.
maybe because I load of Zoom because many participants were there. I'm not sure. Maybe the video card crashed.
Right.
We have 3 people recording, so I think we have enough redundancy.
Cool.
Yes.
All right.
Egoy, can you hear us? Is English okay? Egoy?
I'm Korean.
Oh.
And you, hi, you can hear us?
I can English well.
Okay.
Okay, great. You're here for, do you have a presentation? Or do you want to go for as a representative?
Today, I just came to vote.
Okay, awesome.
I hope everyone here speak slowly.
All right, we'll try.
Awesome, awesome. How many presentations or how many gonna run this time?
I'm gonna run.
Okay, cool. You also, Taras? So we have 4 people running. So I would say we have about. Yes. Okay, so the pitches should be pretty short, I guess. I'm putting myself last. Okay. Who else wants to be second last?
So yeah, somebody should just go for it.
Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Who's the? I mean, I can start if nobody else has some desire to.
Great.
Yeah, jump into it, Jay.
Cool.
One more thing. I will watch the clock. How long should we make the pitch time? 3-4 minutes?
Yeah, I guess maybe let's do 4 minutes and then that'll leave some time at the end, right?
Awesome, cool. Go.
All right. Can you guys hear like Brandon Fancher's voice sometimes? Or am I like still somehow on?
I think that's Egoy.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry. So I'll just do a quick intro of myself. I have 6 years of C++ and software engineering experience. I worked in the semiconductor industry as a software engineer and team lead. Then in 2015, I co-founded a fintech financial technology startup, and that was not blockchain. That was just traditional finance. The startup failed, but we learned a lot about how, like, what the common pitfalls are in building financial technology applications. And it led me to discover Ethereum, which was a solution to some of those problems. And yeah, so then in 2017, I discovered EOS, and it's been pretty much my main focus ever since. I've been involved in the community, going to meetups. I worked at Dappiness with Zach Gall and Peter Kay, if you guys know them. It was just a dev shop where we were doing some smart contract development and front-end development for a few clients. I was involved, I was on Everything EOS a couple times. I was on EOS Radio with Ash Oro. So I've just been involved in the community in various capacities. I'm pretty active on Twitter and on Medium with writing about economics and governance. That's really my interest, which is also what has led me to Eden, which I think is an extremely exciting opportunity to practice or experiment with novel forms of governance. And my current project is called the EOS Power Network. I left my job, my full-time job in August, and I'm working on the EOS Power Network. And it is something, the URL, if anyone's interested, just after the meeting or whatever, it's eospower.network. That's the URL for it. But it basically just allows pull transactions on EOS. And a pull transaction is like, you could think subscriptions or donations or invoices or other types of transactions, which, believe it or not, are actually not possible on other blockchains. So like Ethereum can't even copy this, even though it's open source, because of the base layer permission system is not flexible enough. They have some workarounds, but they're actually quite insecure. So I'm trying to show the power of EOS with utilizing the interesting permission system to build something unique and useful for the community. And that's my full-time focus. So if I get promoted here, the funds that I receive will be used to continue the development of the EOS Power Network. And that's my pitch.
Awesome. You have still 1 minute. Are there any questions?
Yeah, does anyone have any questions for me? I'm also like going to work on the EOS Power Network regardless of whether I get this funding. And if you're here in this community already this early, I think I have enough in common with you. I'm excited for any of us to move forward and see what we can all do. So that's just my mentality here, just so you guys know. And yeah, if anyone has any questions, please ask.
I don't have no questions, but like I was learning about EOS Power Network already before, like it went through the chats a little bit. Like happy to have you back full time in the community, man.
Yeah, I'm super excited to be here.
Man, awesome. Cool. Mark, do you want to go next?
Sure. Mark Stair. I'm with Tippet.io and TippetBot. We call ourselves a social wallet. So we support all the main social platforms like Twitter, Twitch, Telegram, GitHub, and Discord. And we support over 60 tokens across 3 chains now. We just added Wax recently. And so we get to work with a lot of the token owner admins who want to support, get their token supported within Tippet. And then through that, they could help distribute their token just through the social without the people first having to have an account and then going into, getting the EOS account. So this is kind of like a get people involved and get them excited about having the tokens. Currently, we're working on supporting NFTs. We're going to have the easiest system for creating NFTs and then distribute them. So as an example, you could imagine you could create your NFT either outside of Tippet or within Tippet. And then we have a reward system, for example, on Twitter. that allows you to distribute your NFTs to people. All they have to do is say, like buy or something like that, and they could automatically buy those tokens, those NFTs. So we're pretty excited about that, and the community is pretty excited. We've been doing Tippet pretty much as a gifting economy. We haven't really charged people to support their tokens or anything like that. We're just doing it. We have a couple developers working on it, as well as myself. So we'll continue that on. Where I think we need to go with funding at this point, I believe there's a lot of developers out there in development going on EOS. And I think the next step is really to bring in the heart that we used to have on EOS when it first started. There was so much excitement, the Zach Gall and, everything EOS and all those things going on. And so I would propose to use the funding to just encourage people to promote EOS, get involved in EOS, maybe do some sort of raffles on the next Eden member or next EOS member or something like that to get involved. So we just need to bring the excitement from the people back into EOS, like I feel like we had during those early launch years. So that would be my my pitch. And anyone have any questions about me or Tippet? I've been involved in EOS since the ICO and everything like that.
I had one question. If you receive funding, would you invest us in a specific feature of Tippet? Like in order to push development there?
Yeah, we could if that's what this group wants to do. We don't necessarily need the funding for that project, but we are doing the NFTs on Wax. So I think it would be good to do that on the EOS side for the NFTs. We're just using the atomic assets smart contracts, which I believe are on EOS also. So it wouldn't be too hard to port that over. So we wouldn't need much funding for that.
Okay. All right. If you have time later, I have more questions regarding this, but your 4 minutes are up, and I think Taras is next. Thanks a lot, Mark.
Thanks.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Taras. I have 15 years of experience in IT, including Mercedes-Benz and other big international companies, and few years experience in blockchain. Currently, I work in block producer for Wax and EOS. It's called Crypto Alliance. It was very active block producer in the beginning of EOS, and maintaining a test net for EOS called Jungle. I'm also related to EOSB's project. Probably you're familiar with. Maybe I will be responsible for a hive of a country in Ukraine or in Russia. I'm from Ukraine, actually. And I think it's also a plus for me because maybe we have part of Eden members, let's say from West and from West world, or how to say, and part from East world, or how to say, I mean, China, let's say. So maybe I'm a bit in the middle, so should be good for consensus building role. Also, I'm interested in some hard questions related to EOS, like voting, for example, voting by exchanges, and all that stuff. So I think I will try to reveal this and to make it more transparent and to do something related to that. Something like, so maybe only Eden can decide on block producers or something like that. Also, I have one more point. It's related to, I have an idea of cooperation between Eden or EOS and Eden and Axie Infinity. It's a famous crypto game, #1 currently. They have 2 million users, and they're looking to find some solution to give governance to the players. So players will rule the game, let's say, and they don't have the solution yet. So maybe we can propose Eden for them. Yeah, so that's my point. So to summarize, I have good experience in IT and blockchain. I also visited most of the continents. I mean, I've been in Singapore, India, Africa, South America. So
It's
should be, yeah.
Just a quick question for you. So what if you got the funding from this round, is it being used for something specific related to those projects, ESBs or block producer or something?
I'm still not sure, but my main focus would be building a consensus, so to decide where to use funds. But yeah, maybe a part of it I would like to use for EOSBs, and maybe a very small part for this idea with Axie Infinity, because it actually don't need funding because they are very rich.
I have a quick question because I talked to the Costa Rica block producer that never got funding. Has Crypto Lions been in the funding, got in block producer funding on EOS?
We lost block 1 vote a few weeks ago and moved from position 40 to position 50, but still we got some money from EOS block producing. We also are block producers for several other EOS IO blockchains, like VEX, for example. We are #5, so we get funding from there.
Thanks.
Taras, just a selfish request. I would like if you gave me feedback on the EOS Power Network. I was only saying this because you said you're interested in like the governance question and elections and how to make them more transparent. And the Power Network is also an experiment kind of with governance and could potentially, I think it has the potential to shake up rankings and make voting more transparent and efficient.
That's very interesting. Yeah, I will definitely check it.
Yeah.
Ask you for more details.
Awesome. I will give a quick intro. My name is Martin. I'm working for EOS Nation. I've been working in Asia most of the time. I'm based in China, originally from Germany. Recently, I've started like the Dodgems NFT studio, so I'm super interested of what Mark is going to do with Tippet on EOS. That would be awesome. But I also really like what James proposed, so it's a hard vote for me. I probably will withdraw my submission, but I still wanted to show it. If I can, I actually created a presentation, but it's maybe unfair. But since
Please share. It's just a helpful tool for showing what you're doing. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, then I need sharing rights though.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
One second. Sorry. Does anyone already know off the top of their head where the button is to give you sharing rights? Because it's not in the same area that the recording permission was.
Yeah. No, it would be you make me host. Then I can share.
Boom.
You as a host, you can
make
me host. Okay, awesome, cool. So where we at? There we are. So again, so I'm not a developer. I'm an artist by trade, and I was thinking about what can we do for Eden to use NFTs as a promotion and also as a representation, cultural representation of what we're trying to do. So I was thinking about creating an NFT series with a really established artist who specializes in creating currencies, fiat bills, basically and these designs. I would like to use the funding to create like a series with a strong branding by Tom Badley. He has done stuff for the Winklevoss twins, for DGX, a couple of cryptocurrencies. So he would do the designs. Unfortunately, he wants to do an upfront payment of, I will go to the cost later, it's around about $8,000. And I would give like the IP and the drop, everything would basically refund Eden. We would take 20% for handling the minting, the drops, the pack tech. We developed these things already with .gems and EOS Nation. So it's EOS Nation made smart contracts. And there's the opportunity to also create physical builds. So the whole story started like back in years ago when the momentum was different. So we see a lot of old people here who were active in the community. And some person like commissioned these works already, and the artist came to us when Atomic Hub on EOS started and said like, hey, I have these artworks, can I drop them? And then we said, yeah, maybe these are not the real representatives of the EOS community at the moment. And we thought about like, what is the next iteration of the EOS community? And we thought about Eden. And therefore we convinced them to do like a specific series with Eden members. So we would like select eight members that are representative of the Eden community and basically do something similar, which different, maybe with the Eden logo instead of the EOS logo, or with some nice Eden images, like some paradise images or something like this, but also the portraits of the people who are basically were working for Eden, and we want to give them something back. The physical pieces would look like this. As you can see, like they're are already like some for DGX, and they come with all the security features. So he's a professional designer for money. So they come with watermarks, foils, and UV inks, all these different things. But this is the physical version. So there are two packages. One is the digital version, which has this price, and then the physical prints is an extra of 7,000. The intention here, and I know I've maybe short time, is promote NFTs on Eden and EOS, documenting really the history of Eden and giving like a visual aspect, and really like the NFT market on EOS it's there, but it can use a boost. Yeah, but that's basically it. 20% would be airdrop to Eden members as a thank you, and then the rest would go into a pack sale. And the last thing, yeah, would be like a short video of the detail that's in there. So we see like all these little Chesterhedrons and small lines and all that stuff. And I think that's it for now. That's me, but I probably will withdraw.
I have a question for you, Martin. So you had this plan to work with Tom Badley, I think his name was, right? Yeah. Something like $8,000 to start. Yeah, are you like ready to go with that? So like if you got funding, would you be ready to deploy it to Tom Badley? Like, have you had the conversations with him already? And
yes.
Okay. And you have
We've been in negotiations for the last 2-3 months, but I really wanted to get Eden like to this point in order to like, I think we're at a crucial point, and therefore like Eden needs to kind of like also push content out. And I think NFTs are like so hyped at the moment, and having like an NFT collection like this and getting volume on the trading of this collection, and it would attract other artists, knowing that there's a market and that there's liquidity for NFTs. That's the strategy. Like Tom Badley, he would also come on a couple of streams, and you know, his cloud maybe like would reconsider like releasing NFTs on EOS. I'm talking to a lot of artists, like trying to bring them on, but it's still like nobody wants to go first because they don't know if they're going to sell, and like not selling out is really bad for an NFT artist in a way. They just can sell their artwork somewhere else better. But yeah, that's
so. Yeah, that sounds really interesting. I just want to give my feedback on now that we've heard the four of us talk. We have 12 minutes, 12 minutes and 30 seconds remaining here. So I'm only just going to take a couple minutes, or maybe 1 minute, but to me, it seems like, so I am not ready to immediately deploy funds if I were to receive funding from this. So the EOS Power Network's in its early stages. It's not ready for deployment. So if I got the funds, they would be sitting in my account until I'm ready to start hiring help for like front ends and for other things that I need help with for developing the EOS Power Network. And that might not be for 4 months, 4 to 5 months. So it's a longer time horizon thing. Mark, I know you said maybe you need funding for something else, so please just correct me if I'm putting words in your mouth. But yeah, it sounded like you don't have an urgent need for funding for Tippet or what you're working on. Taras, if you're making money from the Crypto Alliance at all, or if you have any other source of funding outside of the Eden funding, the only pitch I heard so far where there was capital that was needed and we would have a plan to deploy it immediately was Martin's. So I'm currently thinking that regardless of who we elevate, like in a like for governance reasons, if we want to make a distinction here, I would think that Martin should get the funding because there's an action plan immediately to proceed with funding. I would still be interested in proceeding in Eden for governance reasons, just because I'm interested in governance and participating at a higher level in the Eden governance. But I would be interested in setting up some system wherein Martin actually receives the funding. That would be my my new proposal, just because he has the most actionable plan, it sounded to me.
One question I had for Martin was, have you talked to voice.com? Because they're obviously they have lots of funding and they're in this NFT space. Seems like that's something that they should do. I don't know if they will, of course. B1 and it's very tight on distributing money.
That's a good impulse. The problem with that is that they're on the simple assets standard, which Taras probably likes, but it's not used much by the rest of the EOS community. I hope there's coming something out. The other problem that I see with Voice is that it's KYC required, and that's not really resonating with the NFT community. I have to say something, like my business partner, Stefan Bisson, he's running with the same proposal. So I really don't need to go to the next round. I really just wanted to kind of go into this meeting and present something. If James goes forward or Mark, and you have additional funding and you want to kind of help me realize this vision, then it would be great. But I think it's important for the next round that we have builders and visionaries. So I'm only a visionary in that sense. So my vote right now is, okay, we have 10 minutes left, sorry. I have one thing for Mark, because I'm coming from NFTs, and for NFTs, a crucial thing is missing in the EOS.io space, which is basically like a bot which reads your wallet, and then it assigns a role to you based on what NFTs you're holding in Discord. That's the basic technology for every profile picture NFT project like Bored Apes or anyone's, so they can basically have the governance within Discord. That would be something that I would really like to see realized or researched for EOS.io NFTs.
Actually, we could do that. We're building that now. The good thing about our platform is that once we build something, it's available on all those platforms: Discord, Telegram, Twitter, and all those. They have little differences, but for the most part, we can do that. But basically, you'd be able to go to any channel that Tippet's there and say .nft and get a list of your NFTs, or we could expand that as you need to. If it's for governance specifically, we could add a little command like .gov or something like that, we could work out some details like that. But I'd be very interested in supporting like Eden or governance type stuff. I'm really excited about this whole governance and fixing the problems we have in politics now.
Yeah. Well, it's really something that I would like to have a talk with you after this.
Sure.
I think Jana, I don't know if you know Jana, she reached out to your team already, and there are talks between. So awesome. The question that I had, would you commit to building this with the funding that if you receive funding, A, to make Tippet available on EOS, and B, like basically take requests from the NFT community in order to kind of improve the tooling?
Yeah, I'd love to do that. And I think that would be great for everybody in terms of both Eden and EOS as well. And we're like, let's say, pretty close to launching on the wax. So just moving that to EOS and supporting these other features, I could commit to that with this funding.
Okay, awesome.
Taras, what are your thoughts?
Well, I'm more like for that we need to how to call it a consensus builder, somebody like that, not a particular project. So for me, this was the main focus, but I'm not sure, maybe I missed something. So I think we need to vote for somebody who will be good at consensus making stuff.
Yeah, but it also comes with funding. So how the funding gets distributed is also interesting. So what we saw, the people that go up in the rounds, they also becoming representatives. So they need to be consensus builders. That's the A. And the B is how they distribute the funds. For example, that James says he wants to be involved in the governments and the design of the future of the systems that we're building with Eden is for me a big plus. And that then the funding he makes potentially available for everybody else in the group, that's a big plus. That's consensus to me.
Yeah, well, from my point of view, the consensus is more important. So if you add here as a funding topic, it makes things more complicated. So I would simply focus on consensus, but I'm not sure that it's correct. I'm just showing my vision on that.
Igor, do you hear us? Did we speak slow enough? If you want to add something, you can do this now.
Okay. I cannot understand where, but I think deeply.
You think
Come
what?
again?
We didn't hear you, but okay.
You can also write in the chat and I throw it quickly in the Google Translate and see if there's anything that I can summarize. But we have 5 minutes left, and I think we should build consensus on who we're going to vote for, because
Agreed.
It's important that the person that we vote for votes for it himself. So that's kind of the thing. So for me, like I'm not going to vote for myself. I either going to vote for James or Mark. So that's I'm being transparent here. Like if you guys want to kind of like talk to each other, how you can benefit each other, or you know, if there's any more consensus that needs to be built, now's the time.
Mark, do you have other sources of funding from the projects you're doing, or where does your funding come from that lets you pursue the Tippet and other things?
Yeah, we have a enterprise company called High Five Software, and our developers are part-time on those projects, and then part-time on Tippet. So we've been moving more towards spending more time on the Tippet stuff, but that company basically funds the developers and me and stuff like that. So that's why we're able to kind of do this sort of on the side, but it's been really fun because we get to meet a lot of we kind of like learn about all the tokens out there on EOS and the other chains. Pretty exciting. I would just make a pitch that I have, you know, there was a proposal from Martin to do something specific. We could jump on that right away. It fits into what we're working on in terms of already working on the NFT stuff. And if we can expand it, if I could get some more, you know, later on, I'll get more details from Martin of what's needed. And we'd be ready to go and support NFTs on EOS as one, and then other types of commands.
Are you interested in moving forward for funding, Mark, or are you also interested in like participating at a governance level?
Mostly the governance, but obviously they go together. So if some other ideas come up in the next session, if I move forward, then you know, hopefully I get your agreement to you know, pursue any good ideas that are going to benefit EOS.
Okay.
One thing, we have like 2 minutes left. Given like that sometimes Anchor has some hiccups, I would say we put some votes in and see how the leaderboard looks and see if it's actually a consensus.
I agree.
Yeah, get to try the voting as well.
I'm just voting for myself right now to get something on the board, but I'm still looking to build consensus and
Igor,
against the last minute here.
Igor, you should vote also if you're able to.
Yes. Igor,
yeah.
You need to go to the Eden UI and then submit your vote.
And if Igor does not vote,
we have 30 seconds
left up to everyone else. We will have 10 minutes after this to change our votes. We will just get kicked off of the Zoom call, just so you guys know. So we should build consensus in the next 25 seconds, but it's not imperative. Yeah, I mean, I'm willing to let somebody else move forward. I would like to move forward. So if consensus looks like it's going towards Mark, then I would be willing to throw my hat in the ring for you, Mark. I would say we should probably vote for, or I would vote for giving Martin the funding. Oh, we didn't get kicked off.
No, we're not yet kicked off. Well, I have somebody else in the running as well, Stefan, and he is in a way a little bit easier group that I am. So I was kind of like, before I saw you guys already a little bit starstruck. And I know you guys both from the community, so I'm really, I voted for Mark because he's been more present in recent times. But James, it's super great that you're back in the community. And there are other funding routes. Like I'm happy to like, you know, I can't do much, but like I will, you know, Pomelo is coming up. Maybe that's there's something for the governance tools that you're building. But yeah.
Taras, last thought. I think